Have you heard about or checked out this knife yet? The SOG Flashback, new for 2013. Here's a closer look at the lock side and the clip side. So what do you think? Now, I've been doing the Nut and Fancy Project Knife Show for well over 5 years, and I think I can predict my audience's preferences. They are very similar, if not identical, to my own. It's just turned out that way. And I bet a lot of you are on the other end of this camera looking at this knife going, I'm not so sure, Nuttin. I'm not so sure that is a knife I would like to own. Well, to you I will say, keep watching the video. I will check in with you later. Now, during those 5.5 years, I've been very straightforward with you guys and told you that on initial impression, sometimes I'm off. Sorry, it just happens that way. Maybe I see a knife in a catalog, I see it online, like this one, the SOG Flashback, and I'm not digging it. You know, I look at it and I go, yeah, that's kind of cool, you know. But it's different. It's kind of, I don't know, funky looking. And that's what I thought about the Flashback. To be dead honest with you guys, I wasn't really interested. That is until I got the knife in hand. Have you ever had that happen? I know a lot of you TMPers have. That you made the same false or incorrect judgments about a blade. We all do it. We're just human. But when we hold it, we're like, whoa, this knife freaking rocks. And that's my message to you about the SOG Flashback. Here's the main reason, and we're going to jump ahead in the talking points and get right to it. Speed. That's right. It says it right on the box. And this is the new packaging from SOG. It pretty much rocks. It's an improvement over their black and green stuff. It says the Flashback has a distinction of being the fastest assisted opening blade available. That's a bold statement, SOG. You have to experience the action to believe it. Yeah, right. Whatever. Let me see this thing. Come on. What? Hold on here. That's not hype. That's truth. This Flashback sends it out. Now, I'm going to show you some competitive offerings before the video ends. I got to show you one here. And we're going to jump right into philosophy of use in just a second, but the competitive offering I'm going to show you is a Hall of Fame auto knife reviewed in 2008. Say hello again to the ProTech Tactical Response 3. True Hall of Fame blade. One of the things I said about in the review of this auto knife is how fast it comes out. I hate an auto knife that's anemic, that it just barely crawls out of the handle and finally makes its way to lockup. No, I don't dig it. I like a very authoritative coil-fired auto like the ProTech TR3. This one gets it done. It is an outstanding auto knife, and a very good looking one, by the way. This one wears a 154 cm DLC coated blade and a very handsome bee-blasted clear coated aluminum handle. Yeah, great looking auto knife. Very capable too. Perfect clip, pivot, or pillar construction, great lockup, and a decent deployment button. TR3, it rocks. But it's an auto knife, and you guys know exactly what that means. You may or may not live in a jurisdiction where an auto knife like the TR3 is legal. Or you may not want to spend the money for an auto knife. It's about double the price of the Flashback. Okay, so back to POU. I'm going to call the SOG Flashback the legal everywhere auto. What? It's not legal everywhere, nothing. I know that, but I can't put all that in the title. You guys know what I'm talking about. The legal almost everywhere, at least in the United States, assisted opening knife that acts like an automatic blade. That's your first philosophy of use for the SOG Flashback. If you ever wanted, for instance, a TR3, you couldn't own it because of legalities, which, again, are ridiculous. I know. I've spent a lot of time talking about that. Or if you just don't want to spend the money, which is about $1.60 for this 2011 version, which I love, then you might want to consider the SOG Flashback. It has the same speed, if not better speed, than almost any other auto that I've shot out of the handle. What? That's crazy. Well, is it? Let's check it out. Remember, reference standard, at least here in TMP, for speed. One of them, there are several, I've reviewed a lot of auto knives here, is a TR3. Let's see how fast it comes out. Decent. That's good speed. And the flashback. Thumb stud deployment, of course, not the side, so there is a difference. It's an assisted opening knife. I would say the flashback is a little bit faster. What? That's crazy. I know it is, but with the flashback, SOG has changed their assisted opening system. They're using a coil spring, which is, as you can see, throwing that blade out really, really fast. So a legal everywhere auto. Can't get this? Get that. Save half the money. Next POU. Edc Blade, and again, back to the packaging. That's what they're marketing it as. Everyday carry blade. About the right size for it, for most folks. I do like a smaller one. You know that. The SOG Flash 1 is what kicked off the entire Nut and Fancy project. It's an all-around Hall of Fame knife, and it's going to be much smaller and actually much lighter than this one. But again, we don't see things totally eye to eye all the time, and I know a lot of you like the larger blades for whatever you use your utility knife for. Might be in your job. You know, you need a longer blade to open the packages, to cut carpet, to do all the things you do with your knife. I think this is an outstanding EDC option, and when we talk about weight, you'll see exactly why. How about a tactical blade for the flashback? Well, this is an interesting discussion always when we talk about it in any knife, and what we're looking for here is traction. Plain and simple. That and fast deployment. We've already kind of established how fast the flashback comes out of handle. It, by the way, blows away the Flash 1 and Flash 2. And for that matter, the Aegis, which happens to be my EDC knife today. Whoops. I didn't do that on purpose. I love the Aegis. There we go. A little bit better. Let me get a little pop there with the thumb pop. This is much faster. Okay, so that's established. Great speed. How about grip, traction on the flashback? Well, if you haven't seen it yet, please go watch my interview with Spencer, founder of SOG Knives, and he makes reference to just that for his newer designs. He says that some of the newer designs have aggressive, almost offensive traction. I forget his exact words, but it was something along those lines. And I think the flashback is a excellent representation of that. And I think I rolled in a picture in that video when he mentioned that of this knife. Again, when you get it in person, you hold it in hand, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Let's see the jimping here. Jumping ahead. Ergonomics a little bit. Perfection is what I'll say on the flashback. Look how deep it is. This is no apologies jimping. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times on knives, over these years, you know I've just made a joke out of it almost. That so many manufacturers just put it up there for whatever reason, but it doesn't work. Not with a flashback. It digs into that thumb something fierce. Boys, something fierce. And with this nylon handle, you have molded in traction as well. It's not as, I don't know, high traction as that top jimping, but it's something, and it locks a knife in. So yes, for a tactical philosophy of use, I think the knife can serve in that role. Is it ideal? Absolutely not. I like something much larger, but it might be the only knife you have on your person. It might save your life. One dark, scary night. I hope that never happens. You know how I say that. Last philosophy of use. Well, one of the last. Fondling knife. That's right. This is a fun knife to play with. It is on par with that TR3. I mean, you guys who own autos, you know what I'm talking about. You like just actuating the knife. You might be doing it now during this KRV. That you have your favorite blade, you're just, I don't know, closing it up, opening it. There's something soothing about it, right? I love it. Flashback is the same way. It is a fun knife to play with, mainly because it comes out so freaking fast. The flashback does. So, yeah. Total fondling knife, gift knife, and maybe a couple others I forgot there. Maybe not hunting knife. It's just too many crevices, too many places the guts could get into. It'd just be a nightmare to clean. And that will take us to the size, weight, and feel of the SOG Flashback. Incidentally, this knife is available in other versions, in other blade styles. You'll have a very cool Tanto version, which I actually like in the Flashback. Plain edge Tanto, black blade, same handle. Yeah, count me in. I'm a fan. This one is a satin finished, plain blade, and you'll have other versions coming out over the years as well. All of them will weigh around 3.6 ounces. That's right, the knife comes under 4 ounces, and this will take me back to my intro where I, and perhaps you, looked at the knife and go, I'm not interested. That's because I'm looking at this. The stainless steel exoskeleton, as Chris from SOG calls it. Great word, by the way. And it looks heavy. You know me with weight. Don't get me started. I'm not a fan of a stainless steel handled knife these days. I'm just not. It's just too darn heavy. This knife is 3.6 ounces though. It's not heavy at all. Yeah, so the liner's on the exterior of the Flashback, not on the interior. You can see right there. And it only weighs 3.6 ounces, giving it a lot of torsional rigidity. Not fixed blade variety, but enough for an EDC folder. And it gives it a very fast feel in hand. Once again, you got to hold the Flashback, lock it in, and tell me what you think. I think, like me, you will be a convert. Great balance as well. The blade shape is very SOG-like and yet a little bit new. Good belly. Let's look at the tip. Decent tip. Unsharpened swedge on top. Handsome blade. Functional blade. No, it's not FFG. But in this knife, I don't care. And I've become a fan of the cryogenically treated Aussate steel that SOG uses. Like Spencer says, it's a good high-value steel that gets knives in a lot of people's hands that will perform very well at a reasonable price. You want to do this knife in S30V, a CPM steel, maybe something more exotic, CDP 189, the cost is going to go up, way up. Now keep in mind the other versions, you can get the tie-dye coatings if you want them, and the Tanto versions if you want them, but it's a good steel. Incidentally, I took this knife and I kind of thumped on it a little bit for you guys. I cut a lot of cardboard to once again remind myself how that Aussate steel does, that SOG does. It did outstanding. Straight up, it did great, and you can attribute some of that to the hollow grind, which creates less drag in the media, right? I stabbed with it a lot, and I actually shaved some wood with it, as you will see from the video. Yeah, I put the hurt on this thing as much as I could. I mean, I didn't baton with it. I only do that once in a great while. Just when I'm testing, I don't know, a manufacturer's claim, yeah, then I'll do it. So this knife has not been sharpened after all the cardboard testing. I did clean it off. I oiled it. Let's check the edge. See if I can make a little paper curl. Not quite. It's not quite that sharp since it hasn't been touched up. But I'll tell you what, I would not sharpen this knife yet. And you guys know me. I'm a real sharpness snob. I am. At this stage with Edge Pro Apex, totally am. I've got to have a sharp knife, otherwise I just take care of business and go put an edge on it. Out of box, though, I would say the Flashback is amazingly sharp, hair-popping sharp. Great job, SOG. Great job. We talked about the speed already. Phenomenal for this knife. I think their claim that it is the fastest assisted opening knife out there is true, and it might create a trend. That's right. Competition is a good thing, and Kershaw, Spyderco, heck, whoever, Cold Steel may say, we need to create some competition with a Flashback. And you may see some other coil-fired assisted openers come out. Who knows? Got lots of torsion bar openers out there, right? Not too many of these. The SOG Flashback has a piston lock in it. You've seen it before. But as a quick and simple review, this is how it works. Blade coming to full extension. Take a listen, take a look inside. You'll see it work. Piston pops into position, locks it against the stop pin. To produce what I think is an excellent but not flawless up and down vertical lockup. A little bit of movement, you might hear it. Just a little bit. Got to keep it real, you know that. I think the piston lock here in the Flashback will offer about the same strength as a Benchmade axis lock from what I know now. Note, however, it is not ambidextrous like the Benchmade variety. And it does work a little bit differently, of course. Note this, by the way, the safety on the Flashback. Same as we've seen in the other assisted opening knives, like the Aegis, right here. We'll see that again here in a minute. SOG Flash 1, Flash 2, Trident series. And just like I said in those videos, I recommend you super glue it to this position. The fire position where the red is showing. That's because if you don't, voice of experience by the way, you're going to take it out of pocket, attempt to open the knife, and it's going to be locked and it just won't happen for you. I know, because that's what I've done lots. So enough of that nonsense. I just drop a little bead of super glue down there, push it there, done. There you go. So that's lockup and strength. I think it's going to be adequate for the philosophies of use we talked about. Don't go batoning with it. Something ridiculous. Get a fixed blade. And that will take us to the handle. Well, initially I said I pretty much hated it from my initial research looking at the website, and that's a true statement. That's because stainless steel does not offer a lot of traction, and it does offer weight usually. I think we've addressed the weight issue accurately so far. But how about the traction issue? Well, if we go back to POU discussion, tactical knife, I said the jimping and the glass reinforced nylon handle molded in grip right here will provide excellent traction. And so in a lot of ways, the stainless steel exoskeleton isn't a player. That's what I found out by using the knife. Yeah, it isn't. I mean, it's not, you know, a showstopper for me. And there is an upside to it. And this might surprise you guys. That it goes in and out of your pocket easily. So as an EDC blade, this will be a very good thing, right? Because some knives have that aggressive G10, that aggressive, I don't know, whatever, handle, and it shreds your pocket. You're not going to have that problem at all with the SOG Flashback. And yet it carries very securely. Very securely. While we're here, let's check out the centering, by the way. Pretty much perfect in this version, in this example of the SOG Flashback. And the retention is insane because it is that assisted opening knife with that coil spring. And the force you require on that thumb stud, which by the way is perfect. We've talked about SOG thumb studs forever here. No volcano issues, no weirdnesses. Is about adequate. As is the retraction force on the piston lock right here. Not too shabby. And that will take us to, of course, clip design. That's a clip I had not seen before, at least not in person. What do you guys think? Can you see anything about this clip that is beneficial? Now, most of you guys that I meet are wearing the pants that I love, the 511 tack light or whatever they're called pants. They have those very thick pockets, right? This is a clip that can accommodate that thick tactical pant pocket. That's a great thing. A lot of the clips that I review can't. They're either going to bend out of position and they're going to loosen up over time. I don't see that issue with here. Not with this SOG clip. Logo's in it. It will be blackened, I think, in the titanium nitride coated version. I could be off on that. I think it's fine. And it's wide and strong, secures the knife very well. Very low carry too. Check that out. Another huge benefit for the SOG Flashback. That will take us to durability. It's a new knife. I mean, it's going to develop its own track record. Features a piston lock like we talked about. I think it will be about on par, maybe a little bit above, the Flash 1, Flash 2 series. That's what I think. Same steel, different locking mechanism, more or less. I think it'll be fine, as long as you don't let it sit in salt water, or just let it sit in any water without some maintenance. I mean, that's just standard knife care, right? Features excellent ergonomics overall, surprisingly, because of the stainless steel exoskeleton. Great knife. Good torsional rigidity once again, and that will take us to competitive options. One I've already shown you, and it's not really a competitive option. It's just used in the POU discussion. That's a ProTech TR3. It's $160. This knife is. And this version is long gone. It was circa 2011 once again. If you got it, congratulations. It's one of my favorite colorations of the TR3, by the way. Bead blasted aluminum handle, black blade, just so cool looking. But it's twice the price of this, with the legalities that you got to consider too. Let's get a little bit more realistic in price category, which by the way should be around 75 bucks for the Flashback. 75 bucks. First off, I'm going to show you an auto knife, a Hall of Famer once again, since it's a I don't know, an auto knife. I think it's funny. The Benchmade 2550 Mini Reflex. 2.6 ounces, 154 cm steel, about $1.40. That is $140. Give or take some. It's a true Hall of Fame knife. Just love it. One reason I'm showing it to you is to show you the deployment speed, which is excellent. However, Flashback is even faster. I know, it's crazy. It's true. Just keeping it real. You saw this one already. SOG Aegis. I probably backpack more with this knife than any other just because it is so insanely light. 3.2 ounces. Cool digicam handle, deep pocket carry clip right there, as you can see. You can see the difference in the carry clip here with the Aegis, right? Let's look at the Flashback. See what I'm talking about now? The ability to accommodate thick fabric. Winter pants, wool pants, tactical pants. SOG Aegis is outstanding. I just love it. I think it's going to run you around 65 bucks. AUS 8 steel, assisted opening, not nearly as fast as we've established, and that will take us to Kershaw Piston. 1860, 3.8 ounces, 14C 28N steel, around 60 bucks was this knife. How about speed-wise, going up against the Flashback? Not even close. Not even close. I got to keep it real, man. And I don't think this one came jimped. I had to do it. Yeah, great knife. Love the Piston. But the Flashback, if you're looking for speed, I mean, there's a lot of other parameters of knife build. We know that. The Flashback is wicked fast. How about one from the stable, SOG Trident. Love this knife. 3.6 ounces. It's about the same weight. AUS 8 cryoed steel, $55. There's a clip. SOG Trident is excellent. I would roll a Flash 2 on the table, but I gave it to Spencer as a gift. That ACU cammed one that I had Duracoated. Really nice knife. I just gave it to him. So I don't have one of those to show you. But as far as speed goes, it really is kind of a new knife that way. Establishing new standards for an assisted opening knife. It is a legal everywhere blade. I've warmed up to the looks. I have. Because I've used a knife and, I don't know, ugly is as ugly does. And this is a very capable knife. Feels good in hand, has great traction, great ergonomics. I actually like the stainless steel exoskeleton for the easy insertion in and out of pocket. The clip is ideal. The price is fair. Highly recommended. It's going into my HOF playlist. What do you think now? Check it out. Hold it. Actuate it. And you, like me, may just buy yourself a SOG Flashback. That's a Nut and Fancy review. Out.